Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Experts. Steve here on this 5x3 rhombus room. You can't tell it's rhombus yet because of the camera angle, but if I bring you in, you can see it. So you can see fully decorated, looking absolutely darling. Floor is down, protection is down on it. It's not the floor. This is just protection. It's lovely actually though. Kind of got that crinkly feeling. If you put your heel into it, you just feel it dig in. It's like bubble wrap. So my plan for this morning would be going to give this skirting one final coat because Sparky was in yesterday putting in his socket, so I couldn't give it a second one because Sparkies don't care. If it's wet skirting, they will just drop their crap right on it. I know, right? The other thing I'm going to do is I have two of these metal sheets over here. So I'm going to stick one on this side, bum, 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 and I'm going to stick one on the other side. So that'll be my first start either end. And then under this packet of stuff, if I come around here, you can see I have my lovely composite shiplap. So I'm going to start to get that on the front as well. See if we can start getting that pushed on, cover all this stuff up, make it look pretty now. Doors and windows are still on order, so like I said, about 3-week lead time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the shiplap on, figure out as long as I can get it so that, because once the window is in, there's a 10mm gap either side, so that obviously the window can actually fit in. So I just need to make sure that the corner trim that I have will account for that and come forward a bit so that it overlaps to cover the gap. So that's the only thing I've got to really think about, because obviously you'd normally do this once the windows are in because it's a bit easier, but we'll get it done. It's no problem. It's just a bit of thinking, isn't it? I'm good at thinking. That was mean. You shouldn't have said that. So that is it. So I'm going to crack on then. I've just had a lovely cup of tea from the client, which is always aces, and I shall show you a little bit when I start putting this metal sheeting on how to like cut the angle on it, how to work that out in the first place, because obviously we have the angly dangly, because obviously the roof slopes downwards as it should, so rainwater can bugger off at the back, and that is it. I'll see you in a minute. Metal sheeting. How do you put the bloody stuff up? How do you cut it? How to get it looking nice. So because I'm doing this on my Todd, there are a few things I do to make my life a little bit easier. So especially on the very first one, what I do is, these are exactly 1 meter, okay? This wall is nice and level because I built it. I've put this bit of spare batten on, that is now level. So what I'll do is, once I've got this one, well, the one that's over there prepared ready for you, cut, is that when I kind of get it up, I can then just butt it up against that, and it saves it being all sort of flippity floppy trying to hold it up and drill it and kind of get it done. At least I know once I'm pushing up tight against there, I know I'm already on my level point, which is going to make my life a lot easier. Like, instead of just sort of waving in the wind trying to figure it out and trying to level it whilst doing it at the same time. So that's a good first tip. So that's just literally screwed in so I can pull it out and maneuver it as and where I need to. Once the first one's on, it's a bit easier because the next one will just overlap into these ridges anyway. So that kind of holds it in place. So, but just to get you started, that usually helps out a lot. Now, the angle. I don't know if my phone's sort of level, but you can see obviously it's running down in that direction. How do I know how much to cut off at the top in order to get it so that when I butt it up, it's going to have that perfect, nice, sleek, level motion? So all I do is take on my level, and now because I've got this here, I can butt it up against there. Just put it up to the soffit, but don't push too hard because obviously the soffit will flex in places. So you just want it enough that it's kind of in place. Get it so it's actually level, so you can just see the bubble there. And then all you have to do, hang on, I'm just sort of slightly dropping my phone here, is measure that distance. Can you see the trees in the way? Measure that distance between the soffit and the top of the level, okay? So in my case, that's 25mm. So now that I know it's a 25mm drop across 1 meter, which is what it's exactly supposed to be, I can then take that measurement over this way. Follow me. And what I then do is, again, Blue Peter, the one I prepared earlier, lay it on the deck. What I then do is got an offcut of a bit of MDF, a board, chucked it underneath it, just to jack it up off the floor. You can see it's just back from where I'm going to cut. I've then got, in my case, I've got the Festool with the rail. I marked 25mm off of this end. Now, this is the top tip, so that is the top, okay? Across there. I'll pull this back so you can see it a bit better. So that is my top. The 25mm I measured from over there, yeah? but that 25mm measurement actually gets cut off of this side. Okay, so that end ends up being slightly taller because that's the end with the rake as it runs down like that. Okay, mark 25 off of this end, bang, put my rail on it, go into nothing, and then in my case I just run the fest tool down with a metal blade in it, and you get one very quick piece of cake, beautiful trim bit of metal. The finish is spot on, absolutely gorgeous cut that. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's on the side, it's on the back, you're not looking at it all the time, but you want to keep it as nice as you can. Now, for all you guys out there who don't have the rail and the fest tool or the DeWalt or whichever one, you can do this with a mini disc cutter. It's no problem at all. I mean, the cut won't be quite as neat, but if you take your time with it, you can get it good. If you've got a 9-inch disc cutter, all the better. And all you'd literally do is put your straight edge on, like your level or whatever, mark your 25 or whatever your measurement is, and just do a pencil mark all the way up to nothingness, and then just get your disc cutter and then just cut that line. Okay, simple as that. So now I've got my angle cut. All I need to do now is go back, measure the front, the tallest part, to the floor, wherever that's going to be, 2 meters, 2.3 or whatever it's going to be, and then I'll just do a straight cut on the bottom, boom, and that's that one done. What I'll also do while she's lying down here, it's a bit easier, I will figure out where the battens are on the building. So just take a measurement from the top to the middle of the batten, mark that across wherever it's going to be here, and I'll just pilot some of these screws. So this is what you're going to use. So wherever you get your profile from, so mine comes from a place called Cladding. You can see these? So they're self-tapping, they're self-sealing as well, so no water can get in. And then what you end up getting with them as well is a little cover cap that matches, because it's anthracite grey. Even the cover cap will match it, so it's anthracite grey, so it just kind of hides them and stuff. But bloody fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is get my measurement, chop the bottom off. I'll do a little video of me cutting it just so you can see how easy it is to cut. It isn't difficult. I know I've got a fest tool around that's going to make my life easier, but even if you haven't, like I say, 9-inch disc cutter, even a mini disc cutter will do it. The little baby ones, it will do it. Don't worry about it. It'll just take a bit longer. Always wear eye protection, ear defense as well, because you know you are cutting metal at the end of the day, and if you get a shard in your eye, you're gonna bloody know about it, and you do not want that. So yeah, and when I was cutting a steel, yeah, somebody did mention I should be wearing gloves for the big steel. I did forget, but for this sort of thing, you know, my hands are quite callous now, so yeah, it should be fine. But that's another good thing when you are carrying this stuff and lugging it around, if you do wear gloves, just because it is quite sharp on the edges. And if for some reason it gets caught on a tree as you're trying to wink it round a corner and your hand slides down it, yeah, you'd notice that as well. So wear gloves when you're actually manhandling it and maneuvering it around. So that is it. So I'm going to go measure that, and then I'll do that cut. You can watch me do that and see how simple it really is. Righto. So I've taken my measurement from the front of the building, which is the tallest part, which is this side, 216 from there to the ground. So 216 measured from there to there, done a mark. I won't then do a measurement from 216 from there to there, because all I'm going to do then is duplicate my angle cut on the bottom, which I do not want. So my 216 from there to there, marked, and then all I do is, because this is a square edge, I just took my measurement off there up to that mark, so 24 centimetres. Put it across here, 24 centimetres. I now know that's the straight cut, and it's going to be perfectly lined. So what I'll do now is show you the fest tool running through. I'll bring you over here for a slightly better angle, because I'm considering like that. And then do that. There you go. Bit neater. And literally, again, same as always, you just want the blade to do the work. You don't want to force it through. You can see this is jacked up, it's off the floor. So this is just either side of the bit of wood. Happy days. So get the blade started and then start your cut, okay? So. Check out the cut. Is that neat enough for you? It's basically a factory cut, done on site. Nice. And like I say, all that is a metal cutting blade, and it's cut through. I've used it for cord and steel, I've used it for this stuff, I use it for loads of bits and pieces. So yeah, bloody fantastic. So now I'll do a couple of holes, pilot holes for this. These are self-tapping screws, but I just want a couple to make my life a bit easier when I kind of get it up. That'll make my life easier. Put a few screws in it, then I won't bother with the rest. I'll just like self-tap them. But yeah, I'll get a few pilot holes in and get it up. You want to see it? All right, fair enough. There you go. So there you can see, perfect, lovely little gap at the top, right down to the deck. Beautiful. Those two pilot holes there, you can see the compression of doing it up just pushes this little bit of rubber out, which stops any permeation of water going into there, which is fine. So just put those two on to start here, and literally it's a piece of cake. I can literally hold the drill in my right hand with my bit in it, hold this, just slide it up, because I've got something to slide it up against now. Slide it up, get that one in, and then that's it. Get that one over there, up tight, push it down a little bit just to make sure you've got no flex, so when I put these centre ones in, it's not going to be bowed. And that's it, done and dusted. So that is it, ready to rock and roll. So I'll put a few more in this one, just temporarily fix it in place before I then do the rest tomorrow, depending when they turn up, probably Thursday. But happy days, that's one partially up. I'll go stick the other one up, and that means I can then start potentially doing the cladding on the front. See, that's why I wanted this up, so that when I do my return here, I know that this is already in place, ready to go. Let's talk composite now, shall we? So like I say, we've got the shiplap. This stuff is by Eurocell, and it's really good stuff. I've not used it before, so it's kind of cool just getting your head around like the new system for, well, their particular system we're using. And there you go, look. The first one is on. The first one is always the most important one. Get your levels right would be my specification for this one. So this one actually comes with, just here underneath it, there's like a little L-shaped plastic bracket. So basically you get that leveled first. So all I'd done was got my laser level out, sat it here, fired it at the guard room, and just picked a spot where there's still a bit of airflow, but over there you can see I had to dig out a bit, and the same over there. So kind of split the difference between it all. Got that level, drop the first board on top of it, use these little poly top nails just to hold it in place. There's a little recess in here for them to sit. Double check the level, so as I'm nailing it, I know that is absolutely beautiful and spot on. And once this one's level, the rest will follow, theoretically. But even as you do that, I always still like, I'll do maybe 2, 3 up and I re-level it just to make sure. Because on this one, because you've got the 4 independent walls, there'll be one full one at the top. So what we want to do is make sure that as these levels come up, they're still running true with each other, because otherwise when you get to the last one at the top, it could be a right fickle little bugger to try and get back on. So follow your levels, don't just get carried away, cut. With this one, they come up with this lovely little system. So you put this like external miter joint on like that. You can see that ties in nicely to that. That's absolutely beautiful. And then this end one pushes in. So you see inside there, there's a little clip system. So once the this is all here, all the way up, that then pushes in, and there's like a nice little corner miter, boom, straight on, clips in, covers the joint. As simple as that. So it's going to look stonking. I can't wait to start cracking on with this, but I thought I'd do a couple, like, well, show this one just to show you what's what. Really easy to fit, not complicated at all. And so I'm going to crack on and do a few more. Also, good idea to start figuring out where your lights are going to go, so that when you get to that height, don't forget to pull your bloody cables through. Because your Sparky, in my case Andy, will be very, very upset. And he only made me say get down, and I can't be bothered. So yes, get that in the right place, ready to come through. And then that's it, you're ready to rock and roll. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Well, there you have it. That is the end of my day. And I think you'll agree it's not been too shabby. How's about that then? Look at that. This stuff is gorgeous. Check it out. So you can see here, that's the clicky bit. So what will happen is, once I put this return onto the door frame, there's a corner bit, edge clips straight onto that, into that gap, click, done. And it'll adjust itself to match that surface and that one there. But, I mean, the way it marries into the fascia soffit, absolutely gorgeous. I've also got my template one there. So that is now my template for the height for the last one, which you go on, which jammy bugger, check it out. It's gonna be just in line with that. Honestly, you can't account for these things sometimes. That is just jammy, and I like it. So that's obviously a full one that run across the top, all across the bottom. All these ones are independent. Obviously got all the lights, cables now hanging out at the appropriate height. I did not forget to pull those out, like I said. So they're ready to rock and roll. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be back again. So Andy's back on site. So if you've got any Sparky questions, ping him tonight and I'll ask him for you tomorrow. So hopefully we're hoping to get the last bit of composite on the front. My steel sheets will turn up at some undisclosed time tomorrow and possibly Thursday. So if they turn up, I can start cracking on with that as well. Lights cut and fit in the main space. Sockets, switches on. Fuse board hopefully in, possibly. We'll wait and see. You know, it's one of those things you start tackling it, see how far you can get. But I'm very happy. Apart from the doors and windows not being here, but apart from that, I'm very happy. So that is it. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all those lovely jazzy things that you can do. And yeah, any questions, ping them down below. Apart from that, have a lovely evening, guys. See yous.